How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Ruffled Rowlet, and welcome back to a brand new video, guys. So today we have another video that I think is just Pokemon news, but I'm not sure if you should really call it news. Either way, I consider it news because I think most people were not aware of this, or most people were just unsure of how it was going to work. So I want to discuss this today in this video. So first things first is, I was tweeted at by Sylph Spectre, which, by the way, make sure to check him out. He makes a lot of top 10 videos, a great amount of Pokemon content, and he also streams on Twitch, so do check him out. Give Sylph Spectre some love. But either way, so let's talk about like what we have in front of us right here. So this was a tweet by Joe Merrick, who runs Cerebi, which is a awesome news website when it comes to Pokemon. So what he tweeted was, oofed, someone who played the demo of Let's Go got a shiny Pokemon in it. That'd be a kick in the face if it happens to you. Ha ha ha. I remember it happening to people at the Pokemon game show with X and Y. So what he's saying right here is that it's confirmed now that shiny Pokemon are in these games, and also there is other information which I continued reading on about, which also confirms other aspects of the shiny hunting that are also confirmed now. So I want to kind of go through that and kind of see, you know what that's all about. So Sylph actually tweeted here, apparently it wasn't shiny in the overworld, similar to how Pokemon Go shinies work. So I'm going to talk a little bit about that. I'm going to talk about what we can expect these shinies to have in terms of encounter rate and how that's going to work, because if it's similar to Pokemon Go, will it have the same kind of like encounter rate as Pokemon Go, or how will that work? So I'm really curious about that. Either way, we're gonna go through a few more tweets here. So this is something I wasn't aware of, but Raph tweeted it out. So bro, shiny Pokemon in Let's Go Pikachu and Let's Go Eevee were shown back on the 12th of July. Look at this artwork. Stars above the Pokemon signify this. Game Freak are cheeky buggers. And then you can see right here, this image, I use this as my wallpaper, and then you actually look and boom, there it is, little stars above it. Now, what's this even all, what's this all in reference to? Well, basically, Joe Merrick tweeted out, based on the response, people seem surprised that shiny Pokemon are in Let's Go. I thought this was already confirmed and dealt with at E3. And then somebody responded saying, they said at French post-E3 press event that shiny Pokemon can be found in the game. And you can see it on the overworld map with some stars around the Pokemon instead of the red or blue aura. So, again, I was not aware of this. I don't know when this happened, like at the French post-E3 press event. I don't even know what that is, so I wouldn't really know that happened. But I was not aware of it, and now it's like, now I get it. Like, now I get it, for sure. It's in the game. Probably because 99% of the Pokemon community weren't at the French post-E3 press event. I checked, and IGN also referenced it at their E3 report, so it's just people not paying attention in general. It was their it was their initial one about Let's Go's demo. Again, I didn't read the IGN post. I have not seen a mention of like the shiny Pokemon in anything I've read, and I just haven't seen any of that mentioned whatsoever anywhere that I've like on the articles that I've read. Plus, I mean, I didn't really look much into the demo because I thought everything about the demo was shown at E3. At E3 itself. And plus, during E3, there was so many other things happening as well. Like, people were busy, looking at Smash. So I didn't really, after E3, look into like a post E3 press event. I didn't really look into that. So personally, I have an excuse. I just didn't know. How would I have known? Because I never looked into it. So this idea that like, oh, you gotta know everything by Joe and the other, like some other people here, is just kind of like, really, come on. Like, it's not like everybody knows every single thing that's happening in this, with these games and all this stuff. Like, sometimes you just don't know. Okay, that's all I'm trying to say. Like, you don't assume just that, oh, okay, if you're looking for Pokemon news, you should know all this stuff. But I was not aware. I'm gonna be honest. I was not aware. I thought that, shiny Pokemon were something we were unaware of if they were going to be in the game or not. I was assuming they were still going to be in the game, but I was not sure if, it was guaranteed. So, hey, they're in the game, but that's not even the most important thing, okay? The most important thing is, how do we catch them, and how is the encounter rate? That's, like, what I am more curious about, because it's so hard for me to figure out, like, what the encounter rate is for Pokemon Go, specifically, because apparently in Pokemon Go, the encounter rate shifts, which is really weird. So I was reading like this thing right here, if you guys can see it. I was reading this, and basically it's a shiny odds question on the Pokemon Go Reddit, okay? And somebody was asking, I was wondering what the odds were of catching a shiny Makuhita or Meditite during this fighting event are the odds still the same, or are they boosted? Thank you. And then somebody said, I'm pretty sure they're the same. Assumed 1 out of 512. Higher rates because they're super common, but still got to get lucky. So as far as I get it, with this, or with these Pokemon, so to say, or I mean, however you want to refer to it, with like rarer Pokemon, it's like a higher chance of not finding him. I mean, that's kind of like, you know, like what you had in like Sun and Moon, where like I think you had Delmise or whatever it's called. Trying to catch that Pokemon as a shiny was kind of hard because you can't just, you know, it's a hard Pokemon to find in general, and finding it shiny was harder. But you had shiny hunting methods in Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee. I think most Pokemon will just be common in the wild, and if you're searching for specific Pokemon, like, you know, you shouldn't have too much trouble, I feel like, finding it and catching it. I think it's going to be very, very easy. You know what I mean? Very easy to pull off. So, in all honesty, I think that should be no major issue. But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. I don't know. But I just want to say that I think it's not going to be the end of the world. But if it is 1 out of 512, then I wonder, will it be the same for these games? Like, will it be actually the same? Because I was looking at the encounter rate for all the previous games. So, as you know, with like Gen 2 being the first gens to introduce this, we have no like frame of reference beyond Gen 3. And what I mean by Gen 3 is, you know, Fire Red Leaf Green, we have no reference to Gen 1 and how the encounter rates were there, because there were no shinies in, you know, Gen 1. There is a way to like still get shinies there, but you gotta get like a specific, you know, you gotta get the ID matching and whatnot, and then you could get a shiny Pokemon from like from sending it from Pokemon you know, Gen 1, rather, or red, blue, and yellow, I guess. Sending it over to, you know, Gen 2, it will be shiny. But there's like it's a really complicated process, and there isn't like an official way to get shinies, you know, directly in Pokemon red, blue, yellow. So we can only take a frame of reference with Gen 2 having 1 out of 8,192, which was the original, all the way up to, I guess, Gen 5. That was the encounter rate. And of course, I guess, you know, you had a little bit of an increased rate on some areas. Like, for example, in Gen 4, I guess, you had Poke Radar, which you can use. And also you had Masuda Method. And the same thing for Gen 5. And then you had Shiny Charm, which increased your rate by a bit in Gen 5 as well. So, you know, you had a few different, like, aspects to it which could help you. But in general, though, it was 1 out of 8,192. But then we get to, like, Gen, I think, 6 here? Yeah, Gen 6. And when Gen 6, you had 1 out of 4,096 as the base one, just like a base rate. Then you had Masuda Method at 6 out of 4,096. Poke Radar just, I don't think, existed back in, like, Gen 6, I guess. I don't know, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know, I feel like I'm getting this wrong. Or maybe they just didn't have, like, an exact rate for it. Then they also had Shiny Charm, of course, and Friend Safari, Consecutive Fishing, and then Hidden Pokemon, search for level 200 plus X, whatever. You get the point. And then with Gen 7, you had SOS Battles, which increased the rate of which you could get the Pokemon to 13 out of 4,096, which is bloody insane because, you know, you gotta chain them. And I think it's like once you've chained until a specific, like, amount, you know, your actual rate increases by a decent amount, and you have a higher chance of getting the actual Pokemon as a shiny. So my question now is, if this is how, like, you know, hard the rates are in normal official Pokemon games, like the main series, right? Will it be equally as hard, or will it be as easy as it is in Pokemon Go? Because keep in mind, with Pokemon Go, you have a major issue, which is the fact that, like, you know, you got to move around for new Pokemon to appear. Like, there are always new Pokemon appearing, like, here and there in your single area, but if you're living in the middle of nowhere, it's, like, very hard for Pokemon to really appear there, and you can only see a few, and, you know, it takes such a long time if you're especially shiny hunting. The only time you really see a lot of Pokemon is if you're out walking, or if there's an event going on for, like, a specific Pokemon, you'll see a bunch of that single Pokemon showing up around you. You'll see, you know, if it's an Eevee event that's coming up, actually, or if it's Squirtle event, you'll see a bunch of Squirtles around your character at any given time. But the thing, though, is, you know, with these Let's Go games, that won't be necessary. You know, you'll be just able to play the game, and you're essentially guaranteed you're going to be able to, you know, see a bunch of those certain Pokemon in specific routes. So I think what people will most likely do, finish the game, which they always do. Finish the game, the story, all that stuff. Get all the Pokemon you need. Get the Pokemon you need for shiny hunting, and then start shiny hunting. And the way you would shiny hunt is just go to a specific area where that Pokemon that you're looking for in shiny form usually spawns, go there, and just stick around that area for the longest time. Catch a bunch of Pokemon until they respawn, until a one shows up that has, like, you know, sparks around it, like, you know, just like little you know, shiny sparks around and that sort of stuff. And once that happens, boom, you've got yourself a shiny Pokemon. So again, try to look into the shiny rates with you know, these things, and especially people just don't have an exact answer. During the water event back in March, Magikarp was very common, but I caught about 100, less than 100 of those. 3 were shiny. I was very lucky and have evolved them all, despite mediocre IVs, but who cares? I like to show them off in gyms. I think the odds were 1 in 256 during the event per Sylph Road, but have to be much rarer now. I thought I'd never find another one. Then total seen 961, caught 918. But just a few days ago, my 4th Magikarp appeared and has since evolved, a combination of RNG, location, and luck. So with Let's Go Pikachu Eevee, location isn't a matter, luck is a matter, and RNG is a matter, but the question is, what's the exact rate? I am really curious to see what it's going to be, because I think it's going to be similar to Pokemon Go, and not, like, you know, crazy hard, because there'll be no way in these games, as far as we know right now, there'll be no way to chain Pokemon. There's no way to chain, you know, chain shinies, or, like, there's no way to do Masuda method, none of that stuff. It's, like, not possible in these games. So how will we actually be able to shiny hunt, you know, actually shiny hunt, you know what I mean? And not just sit in grass and just wait, you know, until a Pokemon pops up that has, like, you know, little, you know, stars popping up around it. So, I don't know, guys. Either way, that's going to be the end of this video, guys. If you did enjoy, then drop a like down below. I'll see you all in the next video. Have a great day, and bye-bye, ladies and gentlemen.